I think I should be inviting Colonel Brigadier Sir. Sir, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me, madam?
Yes. Sir is head of the department at Institute of Reproductive Medicine and
Oh, I think that is not required.
Super specialty hospital.
In fact, this is one lecture. This is one lecture. I think all of us had a full attention. Sometimes when you start, your mind starts going here and there. But credit goes to Dr. Sonia Malik, madam. Bring all the things in one lecture together, and I'm sure it has cleared many doubts. One thing I think the carrying message is that we doctors are basically sentimental people, and this is the time which has come where we should, I think, leave that part of our personality and do as the law wants us to do it. And yes, this law will not allow the poor people to have children. Definitely they would not, because what I hear, the donor sperm would be available for 15,000 and the poor person, he is getting pay of 10,000 only. So no IUIs for the poor people and no donor eggs for this thing. Yes, the positive point, as madam had said, I think we should look into that. Maybe we'll go for different protocols in poor responders, instead of asking them to do for the donor eggs, maybe double stimulation, pooling of the embryos, and all those things would possibly give a new direction to the treatment. But definitely, I think we all should now leave aside our this part of personality of being very, kind and accommodating to our patients, because nobody is going to save us if there's a problem. And the second thing is that the patient, the relatives, or the advocate, anybody can give a complaint against you. I do not know how we are going to practice. There's a lot of challenges which are going to have. And when we, madam would agree, when we started this ART, practice, we had a different values, different reasons why we joined this. Money was never the criteria at that time. And now in front of us, I've already written to madam in private, we see the edifice, falling in front of us. The whole foundation. And because of fault of some of us, many of us, maybe us also. But at the same time, whosoever the doctor, the aim was, trying to help the patient. But this law and all is very, very categorical that we have to leave our emotions aside. What is allowed, we'll do it. What is not, thank you very much. Sorry, we can't do it. Exactly. I feel very sad about that part.
Ma'am, unmute kar lijiye.
Thank you, sir. Sonia ma'am, you had said that we cannot pay directly to the oocyte donor.
Yes.
So how I'm going to do that? Then the person who is getting the egg, that person has to pay directly to the oocyte donor?
No, they can pay to the bank and the bank pays to the donor. But you as a clinic cannot pay to the donor. You cannot. The bank, and again, Dr. Sharma was saying now the semen is going to cost 15,000. As such, they are not supposed to charge anything for the semen. Whatever is being done is all in black market. We are not, it is supposed to be free. It is supposed to be altruistic, but nothing. Only to be paid for transportation and loss of wages. Nothing more than that. They don't even have the insurance money for them, for the sperm. But now, of course, we are finding that they are charging so much. Only thing is that they have not accounted for the semen cryopreservation at all in the charges, which of course these banks will say that they are cryopreserving these sperm, and that is why they are going to charge this much. But as such, no, it is not supposed to be done like that. That is something that you also have to remember, that if you take a semen sample also, you are not to pay to the person as such. You have to pay to the clinic, to the bank. It has to come through the bank.
Now I invite Dr. Shadajan, ma'am.
Very innovative thing. Not yet one of the banks, but what he's doing is he's employing the donors. He's actually showing them as his employees. So he pays them a salary. That is how he's compensating his donor. So, people will find ways and means to do it, which is not wrong, because obviously they are giving something, so they have to be paid. So he's showing them as employees. So this is what some of the banks have started to do, which is like, so, jitne dimag lagenge, utne ideas aayenge, I suppose.
Dr. Sonia, I think, it had been an absolutely excellent presentation. I will just bring about 3-4 points. I think 99% of the gynecologists have closed their doors to call themselves as infertility practitioner. They have not applied, not a single person has applied for level 1 clinic.
Absolutely, yes.
Across the country, people have not applied.
Yes,
they have closed their doors at all.
Yes.
Now, what I can see during this particular time, 1 or 2 gynecologists have come, and I did tell them just like this when you asked me कि आपका registration कायदे में जैसे PCPNDT में होता है वैसे आपका registration होगा. So what I'm telling, I feel very sad about it, but this is the fact of life. I know many MBBS doctors were doing IUI left and right prior to this, but I think I don't know how they're going to do it, but 99.9% people have closed their door to be infertility practice. Now, as far as so that particular chapter, I feel very sad about it. I think as far as the IVF clinic is concerned, as an IVF banks, they are clear about it. The only thing is, again, a very sad part of it, that there are no ART banks as far as Delhi is concerned and the area where I practice. They are Semen Bank, but they are no ART bank, and they have no inclination कि वो उस side का bank का part का हिस्सा होंगे. So I represent 40% of Delhi, and there is no bank like this. How things are going to go? One thing. It means at least at this particular time, donor semen and a donor site are out. You said that as far as the donor thing is concerned, a notary thing will do, so that makes things very simple. कि 10 rupees का आपने बना लिया और उसमें आपने notary से दस्तखत करा लिया तो एक फाइल में उसको लगा. That's one thing is simple, and I find there will not be any. As for the qualifications is concerned, I think people will find loopholes. I've been practicing with Dr. Sonia Malik for last 15 years, and she will get a certificate. So she will be able to, as she was doing it earlier, she will be able to do it. The same way is for embryologists also. A person has to say कि भाई पिछले 3 साल से हमारे साथ काम कर रहा है, 4 साल से काम कर रहा है, and वो वाला सब कुछ काम करके वही चीज आ जाएगी. But I will say, I think I liked your last slide. It should flow with time. And not do, we must follow the law of the land.
Absolutely.
Because if we do not follow the law of the land, we are behind bars.
Absolutely.
And thirdly is, we should not be flexible and not become emotional, as Dr. Brigadier Sharma says, that we become emotional. वो कहते ये कर लो, ये करो, कुछ नहीं करना भैया, हमारे ये काम नहीं होता. So this is what, as far as I'm concerned, I've closed my door for surrogacy. I think I have closed my doors for donor also, because मुझे नहीं लगता यहाँ पर कोई बैंक शैंक आएंगे डॉक्टर साहब. और ये सब false thing है कि डॉक्टर साहब, I was trying to just review how things are. भाई तुम्हारा डोनर से क्या कनेक्शन था अभी तक? And I found, हम लोगों ने एक डोनर्स की फाइलें बना रखी थी, इतनी सारी फाइलें बना रखी थी. And what connections one had? 15 days after this, when patient was all right, everything was all right, you had no connection with the donor. So I find, अच्छा हो गया ये वाली काम खत्म हो गया. ना तो यहाँ कभी इंश्योरेंस आने वाली है. ये सब बिल्कुल फालतू की बातें. और आपको पता है, who is going to give you any specimen, whether semen or otherwise, तो उसको पैसे नहीं मिलेंगे तो वो क्यों आएंगे?
बिल्कुल क्यों देगा? बिल्कुल.
So I think people like us, आपको जनरल प्रैक्टिस करो या और कुछ करो, और कुछ काम करो. But एक बात बिल्कुल क्लियर है, I feel very sad about 99.9% of the gynecologists will not be able to practice as infertility because उन्होंने तो registered ही नहीं कराया. Ask Dr. Gaurav Agarwal, as a medical legal expert, what he has to say.
So, the couple of things. That is, the speaker has complimented comprehensive by
Sir, your voice is breaking.
So voice is breaking.
Breaking.
Hanji, sir.
Okay. Is it better now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So I was saying that there was an anxiety raised that no success, no fee. So regarding that, I'd like to clarify that the law is very, very clear now through several judgments of the Honorable Supreme Court that if there is no success, then the fees cannot be refunded. And I mean, first of all, entering into such a contract is illegal at the doctor's end. One.
Yes.
Secondly, if it does happen, the patient cannot demand money back because it is anyway illegal. Okay. So law is very clear about it. And if the patient says कि ठीक है गारंटी डॉक्टर साहब की गारंटी भी नहीं है हम काम कर रहे हैं और ये इलीगल है वैसे इस तरह की गारंटी secondly regarding so many apprehensions raised by Dr. Sharda Jain, and I mean it's been hardly a year since the act has come into force. Both would offer since it was mentioned that there are 3 years and 2 years for the Surrogacy Act to everything to the central government, and the central government has these powers to remove the difficulties. So it would be the right time, maybe in a couple of months, maybe another year hence, that you guys represent at the Foxy level and then the weaknesses, and therefore many of us are closing down again for their services.
गौरव आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है
Okay. So, and ground level and the weaknesses.
Voice is not clear, sir.
नहीं सुन रहे.
Yes. No. If a slightly better location. So, is it better now? Is it better now?
Better.
Better.
Am I audible better now?
Hanji, sir.
Okay. So, lastly, I would like to make a quick review of a judgment. That judgment came last year, 2021. Vijay Krishnan versus Madras Medical Mission. The couple was under treatment for infertility for 10 years when the doctor, gave a IUI, and before the procedure was done, ultrasound was done. The case was goes back to almost 17 years ago in 2005. At that point of time, amniocentesis and chordosynthesis was not done. Probably it was not too popular at that time. So later on, it was discovered through an ultrasound scan that there was a possibility of Down syndrome. The child later turned out to be Down's. So they put up a case against the doctor for 2.5 crore rupees. So last year it was decided by National Commission, the highest consumer court in the country, that the case did not stand any chance because at that point of time, there was a weakness in the case that when the couple was counseled by the treating doctor, they did offer all test facilities to know about the well-being of the baby. Okay. So, but they could not prove effectively that a choice of amniocentesis was also offered to the patient. The patient said that they should have performed this test. We could have afforded any kind of money. So the doctor, the point of this judgment is that we have to offer, we always do, but if we fail to record the informed refusal, that I'm given this choice, but I choose not to get this test done and instead get the alternative test done, should have been there on record. Had this been there, then it would not have taken 17 years for a judgment to come out. So the idea is we take for granted the so many things कि ठीक है patient afford नहीं कर सकता है या अगर afford कर भी सकता है तो शायद ये नहीं कराएगा या ठीक है अगर सब कुछ हो गया but उसको writing में नहीं लाए. The take home message is that every small refusal by the patient should be countersigned that in the form of a proper consent that I've been explained the alternatives about the pros and cons of the procedure and I choose not to undertake that one and I choose to undertake this particular procedure, and then sign date and everything. So this was a couple of messages from my end.
Thank you, sir. Now, Dr. Jyoti Bali, Medical Director, Baby Spoon Hospital. What do you want to say? Then we will have final comments from Dr. Punita. What is happening at the level of the government?
Thank you so mumuch, Dr. Poonam and Dr. Sharda Jain, ma'am. First of all, let me compliment the boss, Dr. Sonia Malik, madam, for this beautiful presentation. I think the need of the hour this presentation was. Ma'am, one or two questions that I would like to discuss with you was what happens to the embryo donation cycles? We are going regressive in our practice to help those women out who couldn't, their husbands are azoospermic, they are from low socioeconomic strata, facing the curse of infertility in their families where these women are not privileged to, infertility is a taboo or a shame for them. And these men are asked to go for second marriage or a third marriage. These women sometimes come out with their husbands being compliant and understanding that embryo donation kar do because that's what we can afford. I think with this law and the ART bill, we've gone regressive rather than being progressive into our practice and going into the nook and corners of the country, as Dr. Sharda Jain ma'am pointed out. Not one gynecologist has taken the, IUIs are not going to be done. Whereas we were wanting to penetrate and go down to the villages to provide ART services. We have come back to where we were 40 years ago.
That is true. That is.
So do we have the chance to fight still with this? Or all of us, our bodies, SR, IFS, should we still contest this in the?
Let me inform all of you that Shivani actually put it on the group. She put a link on the group a couple of days ago of the formation of a national board. I think Dr. Sharma is also part of that. Many of you would have joined that. There you would have known that there is this Dr. Arun who has filed a case.
Yes, we are joining him in Tamil Nadu, from Tamil Nadu.
Tamil Nadu. And then from Rajasthan, 64 doctors have actually joined hands and filed a complaint against.
Yes.
And that has been admitted to the High Court of Rajasthan.
Yes.
And you have stated embryo donation is one of the points in that. So basically, yes. And their lawyer from this place, Rajasthan, actually had suggested that everybody should do a case from their particular states because health is a state subject, and this act is going to be interpreted a little differently by each state depending on their local conditions. Therefore, all doctors from every state should file a case in their particular state. And when the government gets to know that there are so many cases which are being filed, then it is going to definitely make a change. But this group has finally decided that they will all get together and file a case straight away in the Supreme Court. And for that, the money has already been collected and we are all going ahead for that. That is what I want to inform you.
No, this we are aware of it, ma'am, but actually this law is making us feel regressive into our practice rather than being progressive.
These things have to be considered. They have to consider the whole country. How can they not do this?
Yes. And when it comes to even altruistic surrogacy is going to create lot of issues.
It looks like a joke only.
Yeah.
Yes.
मतलब कोई अपने
It's going to be like
why?
No, let these ministers get into it and find a relative in their house to come to us for surrogacy then.
They will go to America, man.
Yeah, they will fly to America.
Yeah, that is what it is. Basically, it doesn't make any difference to them. It's only to the poor people.
So now I invite Dr. Punita Hasija ma'am. She is past president of IMA Faridabad and currently vice president Faridabad OBG Society. And she was past secretary of NHA Faridabad. And she is currently part of the appropriate body as from IMA. She is part of that government.
She's the president. Haryana.
Yeah, that's the important post that she is holding.
Thank you, Dr. Poonam ma'am, for inviting me, and Dr. Sonia Malik. It was very, very informative lecture. I too listened it thoroughly, although I am not practicing ART, but definitely it was very informative. And comments from Dr. Sharma, Dr. Sharda Jain ma'am, Dr. Jyoti Bali and others, they are really a good one. Ma'am, as you know, we met the ACS ma'am also, and few days back I met DJHS and ACS both again regarding this. And today I called Dr. Shamli ma'am, who is the nodal officer at Haryana. She has asked me that we should make one nodal officer from Haryana so that she can communicate directly to that nodal person. And because she is getting calls from different districts of Haryana, that is confusing her. And today, I think 3-4 days back, they have sent 50 applications back for few corrections and for fee part. That is what she told me today. And we need to give one name for the nodal officer who can coordinate between them and our society. And they will start the inspection as soon as all the applications they are approved, and they will start the inspection part for this ART clinics. And till date, I think more than 65 applications they have, or 70 they have received. Exact number she could not say, because she said ki you can go to the website.
And that is from Faridabad or from total
No,
Haryana?
Haryana total.
Rightly said by Dr. Jyoti, 90% they haven't applied. They are stopped doing ART practice, and that is really a sad part on us, because I think
Doctor, they have not stopped doing it, but they have not applied.
Yes, they are not. They are still doing it.
It will be
Madam,
all-
actually, you know what is going to happen? Till the path labs are not stopped from doing semen analysis and washing, this will go on. Because somewhere they are going to procure the semen from there, and they will keep on doing it unofficially till they get caught.
That's unfortunate.
that will be more unfortunate, because that child might get abandoned by the parents, or there may be some malformation, because no embryologist will see the before this thing. So Dr. Sonia Malik ma'am, I was calling you because for this only, we need to give one nodal officer from our side for actual communication, so that only that person communicates with Dr. Shamli and that AIT office. And soon, I think within 1 month or so, they will start the inspection part in Haryana.
Let me just tell you all, madam, what we had done in Haryana. Because of Punita's efforts only, people have applied for IVF registration. Only 32 from Haryana, which was not possible. So then we asked everybody to send their own names to us, and we made a list, and that list she has submitted to the government, saying this is the actual number of people who are practicing IVF in Haryana, and please check and see who are missing in this. So that is how we thought we will analyze this whole thing over there. But we haven't started doing anything for IUI, because nobody has come forward and given any application for that.
Ma'am, nobody
But
calls.
IVF, I'm sure IVF will be streamlined to some extent at least. At least.
Or
दिल्ली
it
में क्या होगा डॉक्टर? दिल्ली में
will be group
दिल्ली
practice.
में तो हो ही नहीं रहा मैडम. दिल्ली में तो बस कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा. That is what actually we had spoken to Dr. Gauri about it, because she knows most of the people in the government, in the Delhi government. So I had told her to get us an appointment at least with somebody over there, so that we know what is happening in Delhi. This is the capital of the country, and we have nothing formed as yet.
Almost 18
So much of problem
states.
over here. So much of
So इसने
problem.
बना लिया मैम, बोर्ड 18 स्टेट्स में बन चुका है,
बन चुका है.
और दिल्ली में नहीं बना, पता नहीं क्यों.
दिल्ली में तो हेल्थ मिनिस्टर जेल में है. क्या
हाँ,
करोगे?
इसीलिए नहीं हो रहा ना.
Maybe.
And everything is free over here, petrol, everything is free over here.
So they will have free ART clinics also.
Ma'am, according to you, the ART banks, they can give us the oocytes as such. So that means they can do pickup at their place?
No, they are not supposed to.
No. Only screening.
They are not supposed to do. They can bank the oocytes, but they are not supposed to take them out. Now that is another see what I'll tell you how they are looking at it. Because there are many IVF clinics who have also applied as ART banks. So they have taken 2 registrations, ART clinic and ART bank. So those people are going to bank their oocytes in their bank, and they are going to take them out in the clinics. That is what is happening. So we have not opted for doing ART banking, na? But people have done that. So that is why they are doing this kind of a thing.
And suppose we have done oocyte donor cycle, and we have taken 7 oocytes, and we have done, and we have not succeeded, suppose, then what will happen? We can take the same donor for same couple.
No, you can't take the same, because that patient has had a pickup. Once in a lifetime, her eggs have been taken out. She hasn't conceived. So you have to take another donor. Again.
Same documentation.
Same documentation.
Expenditure for patient.
So much of kharcha for the patient.
हाँ, बिल्कुल.
Very sad.
Actually,
I recently,
we are dependent on our staff so much now because so many consent forms,
Yes, look at
What I have
that.
done is I have made a total file,
Yes, we have also done.
of the consent forms only. So that even not a single, because if by chance one form is not been signed, so now I start with say form 6, then form 13, form 12, then as madam said, consent for embryo transfer. All this step by step as the process will go. I have made this file now. Whether it's relevant to the patient or not, whether PISA, TISA, everything, all the consent forms are together. So that by end of the case, when I close the file, I must confirm that all the places relevant has been signed. Now the problem which I feel is that we will be so much dependent on our embryologists, as such we are, then we'll be dependent on the person who will be taking the consents. And suppose something is missing or one page is missing from there, with the connivance with the patient, for whatever reason, the doctor, poor fellow, will be roaming around.
The biggest thing is a change in the Aadhaar card as it happened in Tamil Nadu. If they have come. So what we are doing is we are also taking a affidavit from the donor.
मैं एक गुड न्यूज और सुनाना चाहूंगी. हम लोगों ने इन हाउस फार्मेसी का उठाया था मुद्दा हरियाणा गवर्नमेंट से ना. इन हाउस फार्मेसी अलाउड नहीं थी हमारे हरियाणा में. अभी अभी लेटर मिल गया मुझे, इट हैज बीन अलाउड. से मिल के पर्सनली जा के मिल के रिक्वेस्ट करी. अभी अभी
I could not get you, Dr. Punita.
मैम इन हाउस हुडा के है ना जहाँ पे क्लिनिक्स बने हुए हैं, they were not allowing pharmacy in their places. No chemist shop was allowed, but with this letter they can now open pharmacy in their hospital.
For their own patients or for anyone?
For the patients. For
their own patients?
Yes, yes sir.
there was a PNDT inspection last week in my clinic and we were discussing ART bill. So they said that, the office doesn't have complete information, but they will be, operating through the PNDT offices for this law implementation.
Yeah, that's what
that's what I was told.
Yeah, there has been
what we have been doing it for the last almost 1.5 to 2 years, that they get all the details of the IVF. So they know, what is happening when the people are coming for PCPNDT inspection. Their inspection also from the IVF point of view. Yeah. Everybody has got it done. So I don't know, but they have not notified anybody, appropriate authority or a board like this.
They haven't. Yeah,
they haven't
doing everything they have been doing. But madam, again, like here what happened is now the interpretation of the law is very different. This officer who is in charge of Delhi, my son went to meet him for this affidavit, which was to be taken from the judicial magistrate.
Yes.
So he informed him on another thing, that the ART clinics are not supposed to be banking any oocyte, any gametes or embryos. I said, so my son said, self cycles, who is going to bank them? He said, no, that also has to go to the ART bank only. Clinics are not supposed to bank anything. So this is the interpretation of that man. So self cycles ke bhi ab hum uske surplus embryos jo hain, we are going to bank them with the ART bank.
But वो तो हम वैसे भी भेज नहीं सकते कोर्ट के बिना.
नहीं भेज सकते. So then Sameer came back and wrote a letter to him, quoting the bill, quoting the act, quoting the points in the act, saying that no, this is where it is written that we are allowed. So that's what I'm saying. Interpretation is going to be much like the PCPNDT. Every officer is going to interpret it in a different manner.
But this could another mean that, all ART centers should also be registered for as ART bank. That could be another way of looking at it.
That is another way of looking at it.
So we pay more to them and then we register ourselves. This is what I understood out of it.
This fee of 2 lakh or whatever it is, they have to pay it again after 5 years or 3 years?
Yes, very much.
This is not one time.
It is renewable. It is like your license. It is like your license.
I think the whole practice is taken up in a very regressive way by the government.
Yes.
Yeah, we need to employ one advocate also, sitting
Yes.
outside your clinic all the time.
No, we can have the court and the magistrate, the notary also outside our clinic. That is now left. We can give them a chamber there, and they can have a free chamber, and they'll also be happy. We'll also be happy.
That is a good choice. I
Our
think.
role,
Ma'am,
our
there is
role-
question.
Our role will be just, this much 10%.
Yeah. Only 10. All the expenditures we have to bear and the fun they can have.
Yeah.
Ma'am, in chat box there is question by Dr. Seema Sahgal. Is it necessary to for the surrogate to be genetically related
No,
to
no,
the?
no, not at all. Not at all. It's just altruistic.
नहीं तो फिर वो बिना पैसे के क्यों करेगी? मुझे समझ
अरे
नहीं आता.
भाभी करेगी ना ननद के लिए, वो जेनेटिकली थोड़ी
सास का डंडा लगेगा ना, सास और फैमिली प्रेशराइज करेगी ना उसको.
वो तो जेनेटिकली
डॉक्टर साहब वही मेड सर्वेंट, वही सब कुछ, वही
सब
बोलेंगे कि ये दे बेटा ये दुकान है तेरे लिए, सब कुछ होगा, वही कुछ होगा. बड़ी फालतू की बातें हो गई.
Under the table होगा. That will be under the table.
Absolutely, it is going to be on.
Not
See, earlier, sometimes when the patient needed a donor sperm, the father-in-law would come or the
Yes.
Many
We've had those kind of cases coming in.
So now the thing is, they would say, okay, if the donor sample is going to be so costly, let us do it at home only. Now imagine the plight. imagine the plight of the woman. I feel so.
It is going to be
sad.
like it used to happen in Rajasthan earlier. It is a tradition in earlier that they used to do that in Punjab also.
See,
डॉक्टर साहब हिमाचल इज नोन फॉर दिस.
बस वही तो all these तो वही we are becoming. We
see,
are going
madam, when I was supposed to become a cardiac surgeon in my, that was my dream. And in the beginning
Good
of
thing
my
you
career in
became
army,
ART specialist, sir.
in the career of my, just want to share this. In the beginning of career, I was asked to certify one death in the field area, and I found out that the lady had committed suicide because of infertility, because the soldiers get only 6 months to give the family, and when he was about to leave her back to the village, and in the village, Garib ki bibi sabki bhabhi. You know how it is.
Yeah.
She was so fed up with that, sexual exploitation by all the male members in the family that she committed suicide. And that is the time I switched over my focus from cardiac surgery to gynae and ART. So I feel so sad. You will see now, mark my words, you will see more females committing suicides. You will see more divorces. You will see the more kidnapping of children. And then illegal sale of children.
बिल्कुल सच्ची में.
सर ये किडनैपिंग सेल्स तो शुरू हो गया ऑलरेडी.
Already वो तो है ही, वो तो है, होता ही.
I do not know in which direction we are going. Yes, there were faults in our practice. There is no doubt about it, and possibly that was also wrong, and this is also wrong.
बिल्कुल.
No, those wrongs could have been corrected in a better way.
Only 10% of the people.
So only gay surrogacy was to be banned, but not beyond that, I think. Single father, single mother, okay, fine, gay surrogacy should have been banned, but this has created problem for the countrymen itself.
Yes.
Anyway.
And we have to flow with the water.
Yes, we have to flow with the water. The biggest thing is that we have not to feel sad as you did, Dr. Sharma, when that patient committed suicide. That is the only thing. Now we have to become stone-hearted. यही करना पड़ेगा. इतने हम तो गरीब ही हैं, है ना?
Easier said than done, ma'am.
I know, easier said than done. हम कहाँ से लाएंगे वो जिगरा? ना कैसे नहीं feel करेंगे? When patient comes to you, you feel bad. और फिर मर जाते हैं हम. But the point is that patients also become thankless at times. When we keep on telling them that it is not successful, 2-3 failures होते हैं ना, then they start becoming upset, and out of that frustration they start becoming rude to you. ये भी होता ही है. They do
होता है.
डॉक्टर मैंने तो ओपीडी के जो चैम्बर में ना बाहर ओपीडी एरिया में वहाँ सक्सेस रेट ला दिया है. वो मुझसे पूछते मैं अपनी सीट से उठ के जाती हूँ वहाँ बताती हूँ. बिकॉज दे शुड बी पब्लिक दैट दे हैव बीन टोल्ड लाइक दिस.
उससे तो है मैम, पर वो you tell the patient that ये नहीं है, this is only 20 to 30% या 40%, whatever you want to tell them, but they will always imagine that they come in that 40% or 30%.
No, they for them it is 100%.
वो नहीं
For them it is 100%.
उनके लिए
For them it is 100%.
उनके लिए 3 इक्का ही आने ताश के उनके पास. fast.
डॉक्टर साहब मैं आपको बता रही हूँ मैं पिछले 1 साल से अडॉप्शन
Ma'am,
But it's not
उधर भी
easy.
तो इतनी दिक्कत है. It's not easy.
Adoption also
It's not
takes
easy.
2 years to apply and to go through it. That is also not an easy process in the country any longer.
And the older they are, the older child they are going to get. They don't get a newborn
Yes.
or chota bacha. They will get an older child, which again is a
Yes.
problem. That is why the people don't want to go in for that. This is
Yes.
faster.
Yes.
This is faster.
In fact,
Anyway.
in my career, only 2 patients have been able to adopt the child. And that too, they had to pay the money under the table.
No, but we have
And through
adopted.
Kara. It's not through even
Sir, I have
illegally.
डॉक्टर साहब I have been fond
मैंने
of
तो बहुत
telling people for adoption. They have been
Yeah.
doing it for the last 1 year. I'm sincerely
Yes.
trying because I feel the donor cycle just go away. क्यों कोई आदमी आएगा डॉक्टर साहब?
Eventually
Why
हट
can you-
जाएगा मैम. Eventually हट जाएगा और क्या. एक तो number one, once in a lifetime वाली donor ही नहीं मिलनी है. That is going to be a biggest problem. तो
I think the kidney racket was sorted out much better than this IVF thing now in the country. Kidney racket was also a big time problem.
But here I will just share with you that I think we have to perfect the protocol of poor responders, and each specialist has to share things of their
Yes.
knowledge to the other people. Because
Yes.
I find when I started training program or I came into IVF, nobody was ready to even tell us HMG का कौन सा brand लेना है और आपका HCG का कौन सा brand लेना है. So I think we have come a long way. I think all elders have to do that. They have to train everybody the technique of protocols for poor responders, and I think there only the success lies.
I think ovarian rejuvenation will be next to add to that. If no
I
donor.
know, वो जो ovarian rejuvenation है ना वो फार्स है.
फार्स है, वो पता नहीं कितनी चलेगी.
वो फार्स है डॉक्टर साहब. आप एक बार बेवकूफ बना लोगे, 2 बार बेवकूफ बना लोगे, 3 बार आप जेल में ही जाओगे.
नहीं होएगा उससे कुछ.
Doctor, let me be very frank with you. I've had about 13 people, Mohammedans, coming either from Afghanistan or from Dubai. These are the ladies, because these people become doctor late, marry late, and by the time they decide that they want to have a child, so they want to have a rejuvenation. हम कहते हैं हमारे यहाँ rejuvenation नहीं होगा. ये कोई इक्के दुक्के लोग बता रहे, ये गलत बता रहे. ये गलत बता रहे. और मैं तो लिखवा लेती हूँ कि भाई आप इसको एंटी एजिंग की तरह से लीजिए. अंडे आपके बनेंगे नहीं बनेंगे मुझे नहीं मालूम. सो आई हैव अ रिकॉर्ड ऑफ देम. सो व्हाट आई फाइंड इट इज द फार्स. और जो बहुत लोग पीआरपी करके वो छोटी सी ओवरी के अंदर नीचे से नीडल डाल के देख रहे हैं, वो किसको बेवकूफ बना रहे हैं डॉक्टर साहब? वो किसको बेवकूफ बना रहे हैं? दिस इज नॉट गोइंग टू वर्क.
चलो जी, क्या कर सकते हैं.
So I think we should end the session today. If any final comments, or should I?
There is one doctor.
I thank our.
I think Dr. Brigadier Sharma was asking that somebody has asked him to write a chapter on this particular law. So I think this is it is what it stands today. What Dr. Sonia has said. I think probably 2 months or 3 months down the line, there will be another speaker for that.
A big heartful thank you to Sonia ma'am for this lecture.
Thank you. And I thank Dr. Punita and Dr. Gaurav Agarwal for being here and giving their expert comments. So I thank Dr. Brigadier Sharma, Dr. Sharda Jain, and my special thanks to Dr. Sonia Malik.
Thank you.
We are delighted, she gave her word of wisdom.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you and good day everyone. Happy Diwali to everyone.
Happy Diwali to all.
To everybody, to everybody.
2 साल बाद मनाएंगे दिवाली इस बार.
To everybody.
Bye.
God bless. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bye.
चलो ज्योति आकांक्षा बोलो.